Hey guys, just waiting just a few minutes before we get started. Time differences are something I'm trying to pay more attention to based on some comments I had from last week. So hold on one moment. Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. If you don't know me, my name is Trayvon, and I work for the QlikMaps team. Welcome to our second Hangout session. I got a lot of great feedback from last time when we did this, so we decided to do it again. These sessions are intended to give very small bite-sized ideas in a quick live video. These things last roughly about 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the most. We'll not spend a great deal of time showing you how to do things in these videos, but instead we want to show you what you can do and why that might be important. So in this short session, we'll talk about drawing lines in QlikMaps. Now, information on how to create lines in QlikMaps can be found in our knowledge base at QlikMaps.com/docs. And please note that the knowledge base that I just referred you to is only currently available to QlikMaps customers. Now I've gone ahead and put QlikMaps.com into the show notes at the bottom. So if you can't understand what I'm saying, you can at least go there and follow the link. Now let's go ahead and get started with our topic. Bear with me a second while I switch to showing my screen. Okay, what you're seeing here now is a sense application with lines on it and a couple of different kinds of points. Lines provide a way to trace a path between points, and a path can be as short as connecting 2 points or long enough to draw roads that curve through your favorite mountain retreat. But often users get caught in the assumption that lines are simply another way to draw spider lines, which if you don't know what spider lines are, you can go look at our Hangout session from last week. And though lines can be used in the same way, the feature set that's available to lines far exceeds those that are currently possible with spider charts. So let's go ahead and look at them as if they were spider charts, and then I'll show you a bigger example. In this first example, you can see that I've used lines in much the same way as we did with spider charts. They draw a one-to-many relationship. They have a similar formatting capabilities. You'll notice that there's green, orange, and blue. But there the similarities end. In actuality, the lines are more like polygons than spider charts. Instead of drawing a line between 2 points that are connected in your data model, like you do with spider charts, a line instead connects a series of points that you provide through a list of latitude and longitude coordinates. This allows you to visually see how points are connected on the map, even if they're not connected in your data model. Also, the lines are persistent. This is a question I got from our last Hangout session. Can we get the lines to stay up on the map? Well, when you're using lines instead of spider charts, the answer is yes. Instead of clicking on a point to draw a line, we can leave them up all the time. This allows the developer to push the user to focus on certain associations instead of waiting on them to find them by clicking around on points. Now, persistent lines is a highly requested feature that QlikMaps is able to provide, but it's definitely not the biggest. One of the biggest things you can do with lines that people are most excited about is pop-ups. Now, we're already accustomed to having pop-ups that can provide additional information for a point or polygon. When we use lines, we have access to the same powerful pop-ups. So for example, if we select trucks here, we get a pop-up that tells us the truck is the supply name. If we click on the office building, we find out that it is Office B. If we click on the line itself, we can find out where is it coming from, where is it going to, as well as additional information. For example, the supply route does coffee. Now what's really neat here is now you can see why the color codes work the way they do. Orange represents coffee, while green represents tech services, while blue represents paper. Now, these are very, very simple pop-ups, but the idea is to show you the functionality of giving pop-ups. In a later Hangout session, we'll spend a lot more time going through what you can do when you have HTML at your fingertips to put any kind of content you want into a pop-up. Now, in this example, we're showing lines that operate much like spider charts, but lines do not have to go from point A to point B. They can also show a series of events. Now, the app you're looking at now is built inside of QlikView, which I'd like to just take 1 second and say, everything you see inside of QlikMaps that you can do inside of QlikSense, you can also do in QlikView. The extension works in both products. In this example, though, we took data from a Chicago crimes data set. And what we wanted to do is draw points based on the time that the event occurred. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. And then what we did is we took a line and connected those points. This allows us to see in what order a certain series of events could happen. Now, seeing this as a single snapshot doesn't give us a ton of information, but of course, as you overlay different time periods in this, you can start seeing a correlation of where crime moves and how it moves around the city. So in this session, we've seen how lines can be used in 2 different ways, and I'd love to hear more ideas of how you can use lines. But for right now, we're going to call it quits for this Hangout session until next week. I would love for you to have to put some feedback in the comment section at the bottom. You can also follow me on Twitter and feel free to engage there and ask any questions that you have. Thanks so much.